about that time. It's about that time. Tune in or get tuned the fuck out. It's that Big Fruit podcast. Big Fruit podcast. It's that Big Fruit podcast. He about to go live. It's about that fucking time. It's that podcast. A-Hood, A-State, A-Block. Lot of watch, A-Day. Big Fruit been popping all kinds of ways. He took his spot, made it hot like a dinner plate. If you see him live, tune in, it's going down. True stories by real legends that's in the ground. Real gangsters that's in the jails in the town. Fire music, all exclusive, shut it down. This shit is real talk, real shit, word to mommy. By niggas that was killing shit and niggas that got bodied. By niggas sitting with life writing books for a hobby. By niggas who told niggas who made it, niggas copy. By late this podcast get put in the bag. To the nearest ER in the ground with the dead. A lot of these niggas is fraud, they whole podcast is trash. Fucking with Big Fruit, we end your...
Salute, and welcome to the Real Big Fruit Podcast. I am your host, Big Fruit, the Michael Jordan of recording, also known as the voice of the streets, but better known as the glue, because I like to keep things together and keep them in a proper perspective. How y'all doing out there this morning? Yeah, man, I had to jump up and address this one. Y'all see the title, right? Mike Epps speaks on the Jim Jones platform. And the brother said, men coming home from serving extensive time, 20 and 30 years of incarceration, are a failure and they should not be celebrated. He said they are a failure and they should not be celebrated. And the only thing on their mind should be returning home to society and giving back to the youth. I totally beg to differ. I disagree with the man in some ways. For one, I do not believe brothers like myself and thousands of others that served extensive long-term prison stints, 15, 20, 30, and 40 years of incarcerations, I do not believe their lives are failures. No, I do not believe they are failures. And yes, I do believe they should be celebrated by their family and their friends after serving such long incarcerations. And I do agree that they should come home and give back to their communities. That one thing I definitely agree with. They should return home, get their life together. After being gone 15, 20, and 30 years, you got to get your life together. You owe that to yourself first. You paid your debt to society by doing the time. Now, upon your release, you owe it to yourself and your family as well as your friends to get your life in order. No matter how long it takes, get your life in order. And once you get your life in order, now you can focus on giving back to your community and doing some positive things of that nature. But upon release, you got to get your life together. Now, there are people that serve extensive amounts of time for various reasons. And we can't just off the rip and out the blue just say because he did 15, 20, and 30 years, he's a failure. People get incarcerated for crimes they don't commit. People get incarcerated for police contact. People get incarcerated for drugs. And then there are people that get incarcerated for violent crimes. The list goes on. But you can't just automatically assume one, a person is guilty. Two, a person should have received all that time. And three, if not, a person want to make a change within his life. Because men go to prison for 15, 20, and 30 years and they make the necessary changes in their lives. They get their education, they develop work skills, they develop social skills, they know how to conduct themselves on interviews, things of that nature. They get their lives together. Then they come home only for you to tell them they are a failure. I totally disagree with Mike Epps. I think he could have reworded that better. I definitely think he could have reworded that better. You understand what I'm saying? I definitely believe he could have worded that better. And I'm going to play for you his words. These are his own words, Mike Epps. Okay, these are his own words. Mike Epps on the Jim Jones Show.
Those are the wrong journeys to celebrate, young man. There's no reward for coming home after 30 years. You don't get a care package. You are a failure. Get out here and help these kids. Pay that back forward. You see what I'm saying? That's the reward.
I totally disagree with him. You understand what I'm saying? I totally disagree with what Mike Epps had to say. But to each his own. But as a person who served a long incarceration, I did 23 years. I have to say, man, I really have to say, that this interview left me dumbfounded. The things Mike Epps said. And then Jim Jones just sat there listening because he wanted to say something, but he chose not to. But me, I'm going to speak on it because Mike Epps is wrong. People who go to prison and serve extensive amounts of time, they owe it to themselves and their families to get their lives in order. You pay your debt to society, you return home, your family and friends have every right to celebrate you. Because only you know what you went through sitting in that prison for 15, 20, and 30 years. You ain't just do your time. You have to deal with all types of nonsense from other inmates, from the officers, from the administration. Like them 20 and 30 years, that wasn't a smooth ride. No way whatsoever. So your family and friends have every right to celebrate you. They have every right to celebrate you. Real talk. Your family and friends have every right to celebrate you upon your release from prison. And I believe Mike Epps is wrong. I believe the Max B situation sparked this conversation because I think Mike Epps was trying to show Jim Jones some love by making that statement because everybody know the city, the country is in an uproar because Max B returned home. And he returned home to so much love. I guess it led to Mike Epps making this statement as he's doing his podcast tour. Once he sat with Jim Jones, he probably felt that was the right thing to say. Thinking him and Jim Jones would have back and forth dialogue on the situation, but Jim Jones didn't say anything. He didn't say two words. You know what I'm saying? And Mike Epps, I believe you were wrong on that one, bro. Now I love me some Mike Epps. You know what I'm saying? Mike Epps is one of the comedians that represent the hip hop culture for 20 years now. You know what I'm saying? People like Mike Epps, Tracy Morgan, they represent the hip hop culture. So we got love for Mike Epps. I just think he was wrong on this one. And if a person ain't sat down for 5 or 10 years, you definitely can't make such a statement, bro. You can't make such a statement. Now, I sat down for 23 years, so I can sit here, I can make such statements. I can defend such statements. We can dialogue. I can stand on my square. I can support my statements. But at the end of the day, I believe Mike Epps was wrong on that one. I believe he was wrong on that one. First and foremost, like I said, brother do 20, 30, 40 years, his family and friends have every right to celebrate him when he make it out of there alive. When you make it home alive, you make it home healthy, you make it home sane. Like your family and friends have every right to celebrate you. Real talk. They have every right to celebrate you. And the first thing you need to focus on is getting your life back in order, because you owe that to yourself, you owe that to your family, you owe that to your friends. Then you focus on your community, trying to give back, right your wrongs. You understand what I'm saying? I believe Mike Epps was wrong for that. You are not a failure because you served 20 years. You are not a failure because you served 30 years. I am an example. I am living proof. Big Fruit is a winner. I am not a loser. I got numerous friends that did 20 and 30 years of incarcerations, and they out there winning. Y'all see it all the time on the podcast. I interview them all the time. They winning. They're not failures. And they're giving back. They're giving back in ways you can't even believe. We just did a Thanksgiving giveaway here in the city of Charlotte, sponsored by Answers Helping Hands and Jadakiss. We just did that yesterday. I'm not a failure. I'm out here giving back to my community. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm quite sure it's a whole lot of brothers back home in Brooklyn, New York doing the same. You know what I mean? So we're not failures. We made some mistakes. We paid our debts to society. We were strong enough to serve the 20, strong enough to serve the 30. And Big Dudes is back out here, standing strong, standing on their square, righting their wrongs, giving back to their communities, going to work every day, taking care of their families, not throwing bricks at the penitentiary, not committing further crimes. You don't have the right to tell us we're failures, my man. You don't. You don't have the right to tell us we're failures, because we're not. And for those that's just tapping in, first and foremost, smash that like button. Like, comment, and share at the Real Big Fruit Podcast on YouTube. But for those that's just tapping in, once again, I am addressing the statement that Mike Epps made on his recent interview with the Jim Jones podcast. Artist to artist. Shout out to Jim Jones on that one. Artist to artist. You know how I do. I'm going to give props where props is due. That was a good interview. But if you ask me, he dropped the ball, because I don't totally agree with the things he said. I don't totally agree. You understand what I'm saying? I don't totally agree with what Mike Epps had to say, but I'm gonna let y'all be the judge. Y'all know how we do here.
Long journeys to celebrate, young men. There's no reward for coming home after 30 years. You don't get a care package. You're a failure. Get out here and help these kids. Pay that back forward. You see what I'm saying? That's the reward.
So, y'all heard it out of his own mouth, man. Mike Epps bugging. You know what I'm saying? Big Fruit totally disagree with the things he said, because I don't believe men who serve extensive time in prison are failures. You don't come home believing you're a failure. You don't do that. He sent the wrong message. He rubbed people wrong with that one. I understand what he was trying to do. He was trying to get to the youth. He was trying to explain to the youth that incarceration is not what's up. And we get it. We totally get it. But don't tell people they're failures because they served incarceration. Shout out to Boy George, Free Boy George, a.k.a. George Rivera. Y'all already know what it is. Here's a man who's serving an extensive amount of time. He's been in prison since 1989, over 40 years. An extensive amount of time for drugs. No man should be in prison for that long for drugs. So free Boy George. And what you're going to tell his family and friends, they don't have the right to celebrate him if they decide to give that man clemency, or if they decide to give that man a pardon. You're going to tell his family and friends they don't have the right to celebrate him? Come on, man. I just told you, people go to jail for various things, man. And they're not always guilty. They don't always receive the time they should receive. And their prison terms be hell. So we don't get the right to tell people they can't come home and be celebrated. We don't get the right to do that, bro. Nah, we don't get the right to do that. And as long as there's breath in my lungs and as long as I got this platform, I'm going to stand 10 toes down. I'm going to stand on my square and I'm going to hold it down for the brothers behind the wall. Because y'all know I give the brothers behind the wall a voice. In fact, every brother I speak to within the next week or so, I'm going to ask them their opinion about this topic. We're going to have some dialogue and conversations behind the wall about this topic right here. This statement Mike Epps has made. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get thick because I believe he was wrong. He shouldn't have made such a statement. He shouldn't have made such a statement. So once again, brothers, if you served a long incarceration, 15, 20, 30 years, don't let nobody tell you you're a failure upon your release. Get your life together. Allow your family and friends to celebrate you, but get your life together and then you focus on giving back to your community and righting your wrongs. You understand what I'm saying? You're not a failure. And on that note, I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all know how I do, man. It's your boy Big Fruit. I come through 6 minutes, Dougie. I say what it is and say what it ain't. And right now, it ain't about Mike Epps and that comment and that statement he made on the Jim Jones Artist to Artist podcast. Nah, we not jacking that, son. Until next time, y'all know what it is. Salute. Free the real.
Spot that time, Spot that time. Tune in or get tuned the fuck out. It's that Big Fruit podcast. Big Fruit podcast. It's that Big Fruit podcast. He about to go live. It's about that fucking time. It's that podcast. A-Hood, A-State, A-Block. Love to watch A-Day. Big Fruit been popping all kinds of ways. He took his spot, made it hot like a dinner plate. If you see him live, tune in, it's going down. True stories by real legends that's in the ground. Real gangsters that's in the jails in the town. Fire music, all exclusive, shut it down. This shit is real talk, real shit, word to mommy. By niggas that was killing shit and niggas that got bodied. By niggas sitting with life writing books